Now when you're looking at part 2 exams, we understand there are 80 MCQs, 20 each from each of the book, and for book 4 it's divided as 12 plus 8. As usual, the 80 MCQs are going to be jumbled up. They are not going to be subject wise. Questions could be numerical, very few. Relatively it's going to be more of theoretical questions, but they're going to be conceptual application based questions. It is possible that you might get one long question on which 2 sub questions are given. So 2 questions could be pertaining to one very large kind of case study, not exactly case study, but not more than 2 questions. I have not seen a single sample question which is more than 2 questions on a case study kind of a thing. Now you will have to, so basically what we do is, there is a session where I discuss on how to study and practice. There is a session I discuss how to revise, and there is a session I discuss where I'm talking about how to attempt. So how to attempt is something I will do once your syllabus is over, and you're supposed to watch that session once your syllabus is over to even attempt the mock paper, and exam just before the exam day, just exam ke pehla din, you have to again watch that. Very important. I've told you exactly how to attempt the paper, all the tricks and everything to attempt the paper. Extremely important. So this you'll have to do it. So I'll tell you exactly how to attempt the exam paper then. Right now what you need to understand, the couple of things. So the exam pattern is MCQ, obviously you understand. The exam timing is going to be the 3rd Saturday of May or November, and the timing is going to be 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So again, for those who are giving both the levels together, you need to understand that if you don't clear part 1, part 2 results do not get evaluated. It's only if your part 1 result has clear, then only you will receive the part 2 result. So even if you did not clear part 1, your part 2 results will not even be provided to you, whether you cleared or you did not clear. So for those, just for the very few who are giving both the levels together, please understand that. The questions are going to be jumbled up, conceptual, you have to apply yourself. If you are not practicing, the probability of you clearing the exam goes low. So you have to understand that bit. Practice needs to go on parallelly. It is not possible to do practice everything, but at least the basic, the bare minimum level of practice that is needed, you have to do in order to clear the exam. The passing rates are going to be somewhere again close to 50%. Again, you have to understand that the 50% people or the 44% people who have cleared level 1, out of those 50% people approximately are clearing part 2. So you have to understand and keep that in mind, right? So that is with respect to your passing rate. Again, you will get the result in terms of quartiles, as you know it happens in part 1. So you'll get for all the 5 subjects, you'll be getting your quartiles. Now the passing criteria, so since your part 1 is already done, you have a much better understanding of the same. When you're talking about the passing criteria, we again use the same thumb rule of having at least 70% questions correct. So 70% of 80 becomes a 56. So we would rather go for like a 60 questions right out of 80 would give me a fair chance of clearing. Assuming that you have not done a blunder in one particular subject where you're getting a 2 or a 3 out of 20 in one subject and the others are relatively more accurate. There are people with one subject 4 quartile who has cleared, and there are people with only 3 subject no subject in 4 quartile, but maybe a couple of subjects in 3rd quartile who has not cleared. Now this happens based on, because you have to be on an overall basis, on an overall score basis, you need to be in the top 50, 55%, whatever is the pass rate, you need to be in the top those 50, 55% people in order to clear the exam. So that you need to understand. Time crunch is not going to be more than part 1. The time crunch or the time management part with respect to exam is going to be pretty much similar to part 2 is going to be pretty much similar to part 1. But the reading speed needs to be good. You have to grasp, you have to interpret questions. That becomes a task. The question could be an 8-10 line. You have to very patiently, because it's 80 questions for 4-hour paper, which is a 240 minutes, and 80 questions, you're getting 3 minutes per question. So it takes time to reread the question, grasp the question, understand the concept, the idea, and then apply. And the questions pertain to the syllabus, to the LOSs. So you don't get questions which are out of syllabus. So the question is not going to be that big a problem for you. The question is not going to be that big a problem for the syllabus, or the out of syllabus question is not the issue. The issue is with respect to the application of the question. So if you have not practiced, it becomes much more difficult in order to attempt. The other thing which I encounter is how much time is required to prepare for the exam. Would you be able to attempt the exam, and what is the time duration required? So a lot of people start talking about deferral also very soon. You understand that once you have enrolled for the exam, the enrollment deadlines are 31st of January and 31st of July for the May and November respectively. You can defer just in the previous month. So for the May exam, you can defer in month of April by around 10th or 15th or so, 15th, and for the November exam by October 15th you can defer. Now, a lot of people questions, is 5 months enough, is 6 months enough for the exam, or is 4 months enough for the exam? Obviously, the earlier you start, the more time you have, the less stress is there. You can spread out the curriculum and you are able to do much more practice in that case, and you have a relatively higher time duration for your revision. So that is something that you will have to figure it out. There are people who start in the month of maybe February end or something and crack the exam for May, or start in the month of August end and crack the exam in November. There are people who start maybe 8 months before and may not crack the exam. So there are a lot of things that have to come together: your concepts, your studying, your practice. So again, the feel-good factor. I've always believed in the fact that the harder you work, the luckier you get. So the more practice I've done, the more material I've done, the more confident I'll be, the more better temperament I'll have for the exam day. So it's better that you start early and you start strong and you practice parallelly. So you put in your best, and again, there are a lot of questions that come in that whether I'll be able to or not. So my suggestion is that you try to study as much as possible till 31st of January and then take a call. You try to study till 31st of July and then take a call for your November exam. So you try to study. So say for example, if 4 months are left, I know 16 weeks and I have got 80 readings to do. So you try to do for the next 3 weeks, you try to complete 5 chapters. If you're able to achieve the target, then go ahead and register for the exam. If you think you cannot register for the exam, cannot complete the target based on the kind of work load you have at office, you will not be able to. So then take a longer duration and register for the November exam. So you take a relatively longer time duration and register for the exam. A lot of questions come in: can you give a CFA level and FRM level together? Becomes relatively easier, because now even in the June exam you have a 1 month gap. Anyways, those questions you can post in particular and we can respond to those specific questions separately. Another thing that comes in after the exam is about the work experience part. So I discussed in part 1 also. So once you are completed and you have cleared the part 2, you can write on your resume part 2 cleared, you are done with your FRM. You just cannot write your name comma FRM right now. So for that you need to get the charter, you need to get the work experience criteria fulfilled. But to the companies you can always write that I have completed FRM both the levels. Right? And the experience need not be that you have to work only in the risk department. You have to update your experience on the institute's website as to how your work is related to risk. So you might be in an auditing department or an internal control department and could be working with respect to risk. So it need not be exactly just the risk department. You have to be the CRO only. It's not like that. So you have to represent, you have to present and write your work and how is it related to risk management. So that is how you update your work ex, because that is one question that I get very often. Tell me if there's any question with respect to exam that you need to ask. Comfortable? Alright, there are 2 questions which I've skipped. So one is that the questions are going to be spread across the entire curriculum, and I'll keep on telling you the important areas. I'll give you the importance list also categorized. But again, you have to understand the questions could be absolutely randomly from anywhere. But yes, I have never seen that you'll get like 5 questions in one chapter, because you've got 80 plus chapters, around 80 readings, and you've got 80 questions. So I would expect maximum of 2 questions per chapter. But again, like the Basel part is going to be a little more focused in operational risk. A little more of CCP might be a little more focused when you're talking about the credit risk part, or the VAR part will be more focused. Like from VR, I might expect maybe 2 questions per chapter for 2-3 chapters, and for correlation, I'll be expecting only 1 question per chapter out of the 4 chapters. So that way a little bit of plus and minus is going to be fine. But other than that, I believe the questions are going to be more or less spread across the curriculum. So selective studying is not going to help so much, so don't do that, barring maybe 1 chapter or 2 maximum. And I'll tell you, for those who are in the last moment and all, so once you start, I have this how to study and practice session where I'll tell you exactly how everybody, based on every situation, is supposed to go about it. And the second thing is with respect to difficulty level. The practice questions that you will be getting from my side, the difficulty level will be here. The exam difficulty level is here, and the Schweizer difficulty level is probably here. So therefore, in order to crack the exam, you need to be able to crack these questions. The exam is going to be a mix of all sorts of questions, so don't worry about it, don't panic. or anything, just practice. And with respect to practice also, I'll explain to you that don't worry about whether you are being able to crack the question or not. There will be a lot of questions which you're not being able to solve in the first instance. It takes time to get into the mode of solving and all. So see the question, see the answer, understand the approach, and build a more better thought process or a better way of interpreting questions. So with time, you will be able to solve better questions. So you will get approaches. So there will be the level of questions that will be provided is here, exam is here, Schweizer is here. Doing this will not get you through this exam. Doing this will help you get through this exam, because exam is going to be a mix of standard and above standard questions. Comfortable? That's all about the exams.